What Else with Corey Mann on the Studio DNA Podcast Network. One-on-one conversations with some of your favorite artists. Find this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and Spreaker.com. What Else with Corey Mann on the Studio DNA Podcast Network.
Stargirl, coming to NBC this fall. It's Stargirl, starring Zoe Deschanel as Stargirl. That's right, you loved your new girl, now she's Stargirl, coming to NBC this fall. Stargirl.
That's great. Welcome everybody to episode 20 of Disney Plus Reviews. I'm one of your co-hosts, Phil Sousa, and I'm here with my co-host, my good friend, and the guy who played football for the Mud Frogs in high school. It's Jack Altermat. What's going on, Jack?
Go Mud Frogs! Rid up. That was our chance. I was an all-stater. We would have won the state title had Coach put me in, and I hadn't hurt my knee. And then I started dating Stargirl, and we all lost our big game.
Okay. We also have two guests on the show this week. They're both returning guests. Grant and Caitlin Youngsma are back. They were with us for the High School Musical, the musical series, the world's longest name for a TV show episode. And we couldn't wait to have them back. So welcome, guys.
Thanks, Phil.
We're glad to be.
Now you guys are live. You guys are live from your bunker. You've been hoarding food for years, waiting on this very moment. So glad to have you.
Yeah, we have like 37,000 tons of toilet paper.
You have a bunch of Uncrustables from school lunches.
Yep.
So if you couldn't tell by the audio quality of this episode, we are not in the same room like we normally are. We usually go into a studio and record on really nice mics and a really nice recording room, but we are COVID-19 quarantine, and so all three of us, there are three computers basically running this call due to the technology and the wonders of the internet. And so Grant and Caitlin are in one room, and then me and Jack are in another room. So yeah, from three different homes coming to you live for Disney Plus Reviews this week. So if you're just joining us for this podcast, we are an unofficial Disney Plus podcast reviewing the most popular stuff on Disney Plus, and we are basically going every other week right now. We're recording Star Wars: The Clone Wars one week, and then recording something else the week after that, and then going back to Clone Wars. So episode 5 just released of The Clone Wars. I've not watched it, so no spoilers. Jack or anyone else has seen it, but
I haven't seen it yet.
That was so good, Phil.
Don't tell me about it. Don't you dare. And so
I can't believe Darth is Luke's father.
We'll be talking about Ahsoka Tano and all that good stuff next week. This week, we are talking about the new movie Stargirl, which is exclusive. The only way to watch it is on Disney Plus right now. Obviously produced by Disney for the service. I'm just going to read just kind of on Disney Plus, like the description of the movie. Just kind of get into the attitude of talking about this movie, and then I want to hear everyone's kind of general thoughts about the film. I think Grant and Caitlin literally just came off of watching it 10 minutes ago. You just finished it?
Yeah.
So
that's pretty accurate.
So it goes like this. It says, Stargirl is a tender and offbeat coming-of-age story based on the critically acclaimed New York Times best-selling young adult novel about an unassuming high schooler who finds himself inexplicably drawn to the free-spirited new girl whose unconventional ways change how they see themselves and their world. That's one sentence, I think. Definitely not much in the way of spoilers in the way of that. There's a lot that goes on inside of that little one sentence. But what is everyone's overall thoughts on the movie? Did you like it, love it, hate it? It was just okay. What's everyone? I guess we'll start with you, Jack, and then we'll just kind of go around.
I thought it was pretty good. I felt like the girl that played the actress on there, did she win a singing competition?
America's Got Talent.
So she has a lot of talent, and she carried it. I thought the kid could have been played by any Disney clone, born under Epcot Center in an incubator next to Zac Efron's life model decoy that's available.
You're talking about Leo?
Yeah, that kid, whatever his name is. You
Yeah.
can call him anything. You can call him Leonardo DiCaprio. You can call him Zac Efron. You can call him one of the Jonas Brothers. But he's
twins.
He's he could be Zach or Cody. He is he's replaceable, but he did fine. Like that, and then but the girl that plays Stargirl is very talented. Does a good job. Caught the magic of whatever the book does, and then overall pretty good. Giancarlo Esposito? I always say it wrong, but
No, that's right.
He as always performs very well. He was a positive character, not a villain, because most of the time when you see him in a movie, he is a villain. He's a bad guy. But in this he's a very friendly archaeologist. He's your local archaeologist, like you'd meet on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. If you walk around the neighborhood, you'd go to the bakery, and then you'd go to the archaeologist.
Alrighty then.
Good movie.
All right.
The best high school band you've ever seen.
By the way, Grace Vanderwall, who plays the titular character in this movie, is from Lenexa, Kansas. She's from our neck of the woods. So
it's KC. Yeah,
yep.
It's KC area.
Grant and Caitlin, what do you think about the movie?
At first I thought it was really strange. Not gonna lie, that was my first initial thoughts. It was really slow moving at first. I would say it took about 45 minutes to really start like picking up and getting like interesting to watch. But I ended up I thought it was a really deep movie for Disney. Like, I just don't think any kid, younger kid watching it would really understand what was happening in the movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe Miller watched it, right?
He watched it. He really liked it. And Amanda watched it. She really liked it. I thought it was pretty darn good, guys, honestly.
But yeah, I mean, overall, like once it got to the end and like the message came out of what, they were trying to really get you to understand from the movie, I thought it ended up being really good, but just really strange and slow moving at first.
Yeah. Overall, I think I really liked it. I'm kind of with Grant and Caitlin. Like I was not really in on the first 20 minutes. It was very, so the book was written 2 decades ago. It came out in 2000, 20 years ago. And so I felt like the first 15, 20 minutes of the movie were pretty cliche. Like, kid loses his dad when he was really young. Single mom is raising him. He's the outcast at school. Like a lot of stuff we've seen just a million times, especially in Disney type movies. I thought, oh man, like this is going to be just another thing that I've seen a lot of. But then it takes a pretty good turn about 30, 40 minutes into the movie. And from that point forward, I was pretty hooked. And I liked, Jack and I were pretty skeptical, I guess is probably the nicest way to say it. We watched the trailer a week ago. And after watching the trailer, I don't think either one of us were super excited to watch this movie. But I think honestly, that's because the trailer posits the movie as being this pretty heavy romantic
teen love story.
Yeah, teen drama kind of stuff. And, a falling in love story amongst high school students, which isn't really that's not a sweet spot for me at all, like as far as movies I enjoy watching. But this movie, honestly, I think it obviously has a lot about the romance, but I think most of the movie is really about her, which obviously the title of the movie tells you everything you need to know. Like, this is a movie about Stargirl. I don't really see it primarily as a movie about the two of them in love. Although probably about a third of the scenes are romantic scenes between the two of them. I just don't see that as the kind of the main emphasis for the movie. And I don't even think it has anything to do with the overall theme of the movie, which I think is pretty obvious and clear to anyone that's seen it. But it's basically be yourself no matter what other people think, kind of thing. Right. And so if that's what you walk away with,
don't be a Susan.
Yeah, don't be a Susan. Be a Stargirl.
Be a star.
Girl.
But yeah, I think the romantic part of it, I think is really backseat to what I think they wanted to end up, what they wanted the audience to walk away with the movie, which is super weird to go from a trailer to that and then have them be so different. But I really liked it. I honestly thought Leo was really well acted. I'd like to see him in some other things, and I thought his friends were pretty good too. Like the acting is pretty good. I thought the music was pretty good. It's got some original music as well as some covers. The covers were really good, I thought. It's not a musical. I think Disney Plus is touting this as a musical, but I wouldn't really say that.
Not a musical.
It has music in it. That's what.
But it's not.
That makes it a musical.
The music
I'm not
doesn't
saying it.
drive
No,
the
I know.
plot. Like
I know.
Hey,
I know.
if
It's
there's
okay.
music in a movie, it's a
It
musical.
makes it a musical.
If you're listening to this,
It's a musical.
No.
if you're listening to this and you're not sure if you want to watch it because you think it's a musical, I would say just ignore that. Just if you're interested at all, go watch it. It's not
Just
really.
watch
It's not a
it.
musical. So,
You'll love it.
Yeah.
It's for all audiences. Do you feel like 25 years ago, if Jonathan Taylor Thomas was available, he could have played Leo? I think he could have easily been
Yes.
Leo in this movie. JTT.
Yes. You could put, like you said earlier, you could put any Disney Channel star in that role.
Right. Any of
It
them.
would have been the same thing.
I
Yeah.
agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
Okay, well, I want to kind of go beat by beat through the movie, and then just stop me at any time if you guys have like a comment or a reaction to to a certain scene or something like that. There's, I think, like for me, like 4 or 5 key scenes in the movie that we need to talk about, and then anything else, if I'm just running through and you want to stop me, go for it. But there's certain scenes I'll definitely pause on, but. So if you haven't watched the movie, this is where we get into spoilers. So if you're, spoiler sensitive, you haven't seen it, maybe hit pause, go watch the movie, come back, and we'll talk about it from here. So, like I said, Leo grows up without his dad. His dad dies when he's, I think, 8. 8 years old.
Yes.
And he wears that porcupine tie every day.
Porcupine.
I love that tie so much. Like it is such a dad tie. Like I love how he like starts wearing that tie every day to school. He and his mom moved to Micah, Arizona, some small town in Arizona, I guess. Home of the Mud Frogs.
Which doesn't exist.
We looked it up. It's not real.
Oh, it's a fake town. Okay.
Yes.
It's to me it looks like kind of in the middle of like if you've driven through like Arizona and New Mexico, kind of like the Red Rocks area, like lots of caverns and valleys and stuff like that, that part of Arizona. But the town is super sad. They've never won any trophies or made any stories. They've never even won a football game, or at least not recently.
Not even an archery championship.
Yeah, nothing. Absolutely nothing. They have a trophy case, which is hilarious that they just have it there empty. On presumably the first day of school, the porcupine tie gets cut by some bullies. And basically at that point, and this is important for the story, Leo decides he's just going to blend in and be like everyone else. Like, I'm not going to stand out. I'm not going to do anything weird. I'm just going to disappear, basically. And but then on his 9th birthday, and every year after that, every year on his birthday, he gets a tie mysteriously delivered to his front porch. He has no idea who these are from. He assumes that they're from his mom, that his mom is just, doing this because his dad, ties and his dad, mean a lot to him, but he doesn't know for sure. And then jump all the way to his 16th birthday. He sees Stargirl for the first time. She's the new girl in town, and she sings happy birthday for him in the middle of the cafeteria. Grace doing the ukulele thing. So Grace Vanderwall is the character that, or the girl that plays the main character, Stargirl, in this movie. Although I guess Leo is really the main character as far as like screen time goes. But she plays happy birthday for him on her ukulele in the middle of the cafeteria. What were you guys' first impressions when you saw her? Like the way she's dressed, the way that she acts, the way she just kind of does her own thing.
She definitely doesn't blend in.
Yep, definitely not like Leo.
I figured that was going to be the case, that she would be a force of change in the school community. to make them more accepting. I anticipated that, and I was right about my prediction.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect with this movie, honestly. I wasn't even like calculating predictions in my mind because I really didn't expect much. Like I just thought it was just going to be kind of a run-of-the-mill romantic movie. Honestly, outside of this podcast, I don't know that I would have watched this movie, but we thought, we'd cover something that's brand new and especially exclusive to the service. So
Disney. I read a thing online. Disney originally cast Josh Gad as Stargirl, and then they changed their mind.
Josh Gad.
So, Josh Gad as Stargirl, but they changed their mind. Yeah, you're right, Olaf. Yeah, and they thought that would resonate and it would be different. But there's a whole other line of questions. So we just went with Vanderwall. Those are not facts that have been fact checked, so I'm not sure. I read those on a Reddit thread, so I assume Reddit is accurate.
That's an inside scoop. Thanks, Jack.
Thanks. We're here on location.
Back to you in the studio.
Back to you in the studio, Phil.
So Leo has this friend named Kevin, which I really liked Kevin, by the way. I thought he was a pretty cool character. He has a school TV show, which I totally resonated with. We had one when I was in actually high school and college, both had like a campus TV show. Did you guys grow up? Did you guys grow up with campus TV shows?
No, we didn't have running water at my high school. Like, what are you talking about? Pal?
Hey, Jack, you're really muffled. Go ahead and adjust your mic real quick. We're having trouble hearing you. Okay,
Check.
that's better.
1, 2.
Yep.
It was under my chin.
Yeah. What were you saying? Sorry.
I know. I said we didn't have running water at my high school. We didn't have a campus TV station. What are you, Zach Morris? What's going on?
Yeah. Let me be clear. We had a campus TV show in college. We had an audio radio show in high school. But anyway.
Okay. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Neither at mine.
I think it's hilarious that this small town can actually do like that set. Like the school has nothing, and yet they have like this huge like TV studio in their high school.
For the hot seat. It's a big
hot seat.
syndicated show.
It's kind of interesting. Kevin wants Stargirl on the show. Leo, you have to get Stargirl on the show as a guest. We see his one guest. It's terrible, a bass drum player. I'm skipping over some scenes that don't really mean a whole lot. At one point, Leo, Caitlin, I want to get your thoughts on this. At one point, Leo follows Stargirl home.
That was creepy. That was really creepy. That's what the couple of those parts, Grant and I were just like, this is strange. Why is he just following her around?
Like, okay, so if you haven't watched the movie and have no intention of it, basically he is following her. I mean, like he's like 50 feet behind her, and everywhere she walks, he's walking behind her, and he follows her all the way to her house. Kind of weird.
I feel like that's a normal thing. If you're maybe attracted to a person, I think that's a normal thing you can do. I think that follow them home, make sure they know you like them.
Is that how you moved Amanda?
No. Newsflash here. This is actually a scoop off a Reddit thread as well. She actually followed me home. But. Anyway, there you go.
End of story. Okay.
Yes. Back to you in the studio, Phil.
Thank you. And Mom like kind of knows that something's going on because he gets home really late after stalking Stargirl all the way home, and then kind of teases him about falling in love. The principal announces the speech competition in the first football game as some kind of like a pep rally type thing. Then we go to the first football game. This is kind of the first big scene in the movie. At the football game, the football team is terrible, Jack. They are absolutely awful. They're like not even scoring. Probably
they're running the wrong offense. They're trying to run the spread. They don't have any talent. Why are we running the spread if we don't have any talent? No wonder the Mud Frogs suck.
Yeah, exactly. After it's halftime.
Run the ball. Phil, run the ball. Dang it. Phil, run the ball.
Run the ball.
Run the ball.
Put Rudy in.
Go ahead. Back to you in the studio, Bill.
So it's halftime after the band plays an awful number, as Jack was telling us earlier. I think before we hit record, their band's terrible. Stargirl sings "Be True to Your School," which actually gets played twice.
Yep.
Caitlin, did you like that song?
Yeah, I thought it was a good song.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's got to be an original, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah.
No, that's
I
a
never
Beach
heard
Boys song.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's a Beach Boys song, guys. Come on.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so that was making me think.
Look it up.
That's making me think that all the songs in the movie are covers. I thought that was the original.
Be True to Your School is a Beach Boys song.
Oh, I had no idea. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Oh my. Google, use Google.
I still don't believe it.
This segment brought to you by Google.
Okay, I really didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Okay, cool.
Hey, I knew it. Good job, Jack.
Gosh, guys.
Well, it was a good cover. I liked
it was a good cover.
She, I did find it a little hard to believe that like she's in the middle of the field with literally just her voice and a ukulele, and everyone in the entire stadium can hear her. But whatever.
That was kind of unrealistic.
Caitlin, you teach young children how to sing all the time. Do you teach maybe a projection method where they project their voices, that they could maybe project it from the middle of a football field, almost 75 feet, then into the crowd and be very loud and audible? Is that possible?
No.
Oh, okay. So you're saying this is inaccurate?
Yes.
But there weren't really that many people there at the game.
Now that's true. Poorly attended.
Yeah, they're so terrible. There's only like 13 people in the audience coming to watch the team. She gets everyone pumped up, man. Like right after that song, everyone's like, "Let's do it! Let's go fight, win!" And the Mud Frogs immediately score a touchdown. They still lose the game, but they did. I mean, admittedly better than they ever had before. Then we go to Archie's Dinotastic camp. I think that's the name of it. It's something like that. It's basically like a dinosaur excavation site. This is where Giancarlo Esposito's character is, Archie.
Absolutely.
And he's kind of throughout the movie kind of acts like an oracle for Leo, like kind of giving him advice, and like he kind of moves the plot forward in certain spots of the movie. But
he's Obi-Wan.
Yeah. And so Leo's like asking about her. He's like, "Who's this Stargirl? Like, I've never, she must be new to town." He's like, "No, she's not new to town. She's been homeschooled all of her life. She used to come here for camps." He's like, why have I never seen her? It's like, well, she was on the homeschool schedule, and then he says that he admits that he kind of likes her because, quote, she's different. Then Leo goes to her house and asks her to be on the hot seat, and she actually turns him down. She says, "No, I won't do it."
The thing is, though, when he's at her house, he like hides and lays on the ground. Next to her. It was awkward.
This is totally normal.
Yeah, it was a super weird scene.
As he's stealing one of her rocks.
Yeah, and then he stole her rock.
That's right. He took a rock out of her garden. Yep.
I am frustrated right now. This is normal behavior, friends. It's okay for Leo to do this.
This is the new 2020.
I thought 2020. I thought you meant Dateline. Yeah. I thought you meant Dateline NBC when you said that.
More like 1920. The way that
I don't think they did that back then either. So,
he gets introduced to Cinnamon, her pet rat, and he apparently hates rats. And then they literally never do anything with Cinnamon ever again after that scene. Stargirl performs at the next football game's halftime show. She sings and plays along with the cheerleaders this time, so it's kind of like an actual like coordinated choreographed type thing. We got the beat. Yeah.
Another original.
Which is again. No, that is a cover as well. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's a cover?
Yeah, people are going to listen to this and be like, "Man, this is the worst, most inaccurate podcast ever."
Okay, we know this song is from the Go-Go's. It was a cover, but I really liked this number. Like I thought it was really well choreographed. The dancing, like even like what's her name? Vanderwall's first name?
Grace.
Grace. Okay.
Susan. She's Susan.
Well, we'll get to that. I thought Grace like like her ability to sing and dance at the same time and like just kind of move around. They almost kind of did like marching band style movements, like body movements and stuff like that. Moving the whole team around in different formations and shapes. And I thought it was really well done. I don't know how many takes they had to do to get that right, but it looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
Mud Frogs win. She's pumped up the crowd and the team so much that they actually win their first game for how many years they've never won. And we get the feeling that Stargirl is becoming this catalyst for the school, like maybe even the whole town, that this one person, this girl, this new girl, whatever, is literally changing everything at the high school.
Yes.
Then the romance kicks in kind of ramps up pretty high in the high gear here. They go for a walk together. They bond over both of them only having a mom in the picture at home. They're already hitting it off. And then there's this screaming scene, which Leo doesn't actually do any screaming, but like she's telling him to, and she says, "Scream, Leo, don't you want the universe to hear you?" And Leo says, "I don't have anything to say." And I think that kind of enunciates like the two characters, their differences at this point. They wait until dark and then basically go into this like Zen state. How would you guys describe what she's leading him to do in the scene? It was a little weird. If you haven't seen the movie, you need to know that Stargirl is basically a hippie. Like she's like flowers and peas and stuff like that. Like she's
basically promoting them to meditate a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. I do want to call a Ripoff Report. It's a new segment on the show we like to call Ripoff Report. When they're screaming into the abyss of the Arizona landscape, this screaming is a direct ripoff of the movie Garden State, where Zach Braff's character and Amidala, Padme
Portman.
Natalie Portman, my wife's screaming from the other room. Natalie Portman, they all scream at the abyss of this. I think it's a dump. I'm not sure what I'm looking. Anyway, but I've got. Is that sloth? What was that? But with that said, that is your Ripoff Report, brought to you by Google. Google.com for all your facts. Go to Google.
Back to you, Phil.
Back to you in the studio, Phil. I know you hate this. I know you hate this format, Phil, of just take over and then pitching you back to the studio. But back to the studio.
She kind of is like focused on nothing. I don't know. I thought this was kind of a weird scene. Like, I understand it's to outline some of their differences and like try to get him to open his eyes to more of like her perspective and worldview on things. But I thought it was a little weird. Like she was, I don't know. I would have been really put off by it if I was Leo in that scene. But like they just kind of close their eyes and kind of just like breathe deep. And anyway, kind of some weird spiritual stuff there. But
it's Disney.
Yeah. Then we go to the speech competition, which is actually at the high school. Like it's in front of all of their peers, and Stargirl surprisingly wins. Kevin was, been the only one that's won every year, and then he doesn't win this year. Stargirl wins. She's going to go to Tucson to compete, and Leo has a couple of cool lines. He says she keeps winning and she's not even trying. We've won 4 football games this year, and then he says, "Is she magic?" ? To I think Archie. I think maybe he's talking about her to Archie at this point. We'll talk about that more later. I'm actually interested to get your guys' thoughts on that. Like, is there any magical quality to her? The movie, I think, expects some of their viewers to go that route, but anyway, I want to talk about that later. Leo confronts Stargirl and says like, I think you maybe sent me the ties on my birthday every year, but I thought it was my mom, but now I know that it was you, but she denies it. They go to her house, hit it off some more. She kisses him in the front yard, which I thought was a really great scene.
It was a real sweet moment. It was real sweet.
Yep, I loved it.
Caitlin, go ahead and talk a little bit about it so 2 40-year-old males aren't saying, "Oh, it's real sweet." Go. Say something.
What do you want me to say? It was
anything to help us out here. Go ahead.
We're not, Jack and I are good at talking about romance. What did you think about Leo's reaction after the kiss? I thought that was the sweet part of the scene.
It was really cute. You could tell he was really happy, and it kind of caught him off guard, but he really liked it and was happy.
Yeah.
Cool. So you guys are
listening to the song.
What's that?
You started listening to the song too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Track number 4
from Big Star.
It's Big Star. Is that song 13 by Big Star?
Yeah. Which I mean, obviously, I knew this was an actual song and not.
This was not. She did not write this song.
We saw the LP, the vinyl record, and everything like that. But I was not familiar with Big Star. Had you ever heard of that band, Jack?
Yeah, this is like one of their main, like one of their only songs. So like they were around for a while, and they broke up. They were together in the 70s. They broke up, and then they did what a lot of those bands do. They start hitting the state fairs and the county fairs and a casino where they get to open up for REO Speedwagon. It's a great life to be Big Star.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess people that grew up in the 70s, like as a teenager or later in life, like I think a lot of people actually know who Big Star is. But that was one that I wasn't familiar with. I don't think I'd ever heard of that band.
It's not a band that gets a lot of play. It's not like they're, like I said, REO Speedwagon or like a Creedence Clearwater Revival from that same kind of era. But anyway, Creedence kind of toward the end of the run, I should say. So anyway.
So the basis of this song is kind of like it almost becomes like their song, like their relationship song or whatever.
Right.
And there's also some discussion about what's the song that they play at the very end?
Cars.
No, Just What I Needed.
Yeah, Just What I Needed. Which is again from the band The Cars, not Vanderwall. She did not write that song.
Right. Yeah.
Gosh, that changes my whole view of this movie.
Guys, you're like, oh yeah, it's original. Be true to your school. Wait, what?
I never heard that song before.
Yeah, good vibration. Yeah, it's an original. Wait, what?
I know.
Sure. Fun. They wrote it. Sorry, I'm done now. And scene.
Let's skip up to the championship game. So at this point, like they've won so many games, they actually get to even enter a championship game.
Unreal.
This is a major scene in the movie. Probably the one of the biggest crux points of the movie as far as like where everything changes. So they do True to Your School again with like the whole band, the cheerleaders, everybody plays at this time. And
Chance the Rapper comes out for the remix edition of it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. The band's actually good now. Like they actually perform really well. The cheerleaders, everything's on point. The football team is doing really good. And then there's a crucial injury at the end of the game. The opposing quarterback that of the team that they're playing against goes down, and he's not getting back up. And everyone's just kind of doing what you do at a football game, which is like just, stand up and just kind of wait it out. The medic comes out onto the field and takes a look, and then, if they have to cart him off the field, they can or whatever. But she feels bad that nobody's doing anything other than like just a couple people on the field. And so she actually runs out to, again, this is not her teammate. This is not a guy from her school.
She doesn't know this person. Yeah, she doesn't know this person.
Yeah, she's literally never even met him. And she goes over to basically talk to him, comfort him, and then helps him get off the field, and then leaves in the ambulance with him. And they leave and they go off. From
a school standpoint, this would never happen. There is no administrator from her school that would sign off on her leaving.
Yeah.
The other thing, Grant, did you notice who was playing that player that was down for the other team?
No.
The quarterback?
It was the quarterback, the NFL Panthers, Cam Newton. Did you see that cameo? Unbelievable. Back to you, Phil.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, Cam Newton is looking for a job right now, so that makes
Cam Newton's like 32 years old, so I don't think he was.
Why he would be in it.
It was funny. I just thought I'd bring you into the conversation.
They de-aged him for this role.
That would be hilarious.
He throws a perfect spiral.
My gosh. He's so much bigger than all these other child actors.
Yeah.
We've got to make him look shorter. He's 6'5", 240.
Something funny from just being a coach for football from that is earlier the Mud Frogs throw a touchdown, and it's like a horrible pass. But the announcer's like, what a pass! That was a great pass. And
yeah.
Hollywood, happy to see a touchdown at all.
Yeah, Hollywood's never been real good at making things look too realistic. So it is what it is. So.
And then what happens, Grant and Caitlin, after this? The game, the crowd.
He's waiting at her house.
So first off, they lose the game. Which
everyone pretty much assumes that's what's going to happen.
Because it doesn't really show the rest of the game. She leaves, and then you see Leo waiting at her house, and then she gets home, and Leo's just like, "Well, we lost." My question is,
how do they lose? The quarterback, the all-state quarterback from the other team, their best player, is gone. I mean, yikes! This is when you absolutely crush them. Now we should have won.
Yeah.
Blame the coach. Blame the coach. Back to you, Phil.
Yeah, so then she's just like, well, he's going to be okay, in case you were wondering. And then she just kind of like walks off, and then Leo's like explaining to her how like everybody's really mad because she left and they ended up losing, and she's just kind of like doesn't really understand why they're all mad. And
yeah, that's a good point. I that's something I hadn't really thought too much about, but yeah, she is kind of oblivious to the whole the importance that the school puts on her. Like at one point Leo says, "You're the school's good luck charm," and it's pretty clear that he's not the only one that thinks that. Like the entire school thinks that they're winning because of her, which is crazy.
That's why when she left, then they're all like, well, you're the reason why we lost,
Yeah,
unbelievable.
So obviously the school is this is like their one chance to win a championship game, and so the school's the whole school, everyone in school is really mad at her and shutting her basically at this point. He, like Caitlin said, he goes to her and she's sad because she's, not understanding why this is such a big deal. Like what, obviously I just wanted to take care of this guy. He cheers her up by singing the song that she gave him to listen to, which is that 13 song by Big Star. And then they kind of make up.
But they sing a song together, don't they?
They sing together.
Is that the song? They sing that song together, right?
Yeah, in her room. Yeah.
And she joins in.
Gotcha.
And then she decides to be on the show.
Yep, she says, "I'll come on a hot seat and basically do an interview of why I did it. Why did I do this?
Would you rather do
This event at the football game?" Then it cuts to that interview. We learned during the interview, which is kind of a weird place for Leo to learn all this, that her birth name was actually Susan. That's not how she was born, Stargirl. And when asked about why she did this at the football game, she says he was hurt and he was alone. And that's why she betrayed, quote unquote, betrayed the school, which is how he's like, doing this in the hot seat.
Betrayed.
Yeah, that's the way that they phrase everything on hot seat is so funny to me. Like I was laughing throughout all that. And then there's this really crucial scene where there's you guys have to explain this to me because I think I understand what was going on with the bike, but I don't know, maybe Grant and Caitlin can help us out, but like there's a girl stands up in the middle of the show and Kevin's like, "No, hey, we're not ready for questions and answers," but she just takes over. And she is upset with Stargirl about this bike situation. So can you guys kind of explain what went on there? And
So earlier in the movie, it shows her getting a bike from the thrift store, and she like fixes it all up, and then her and Leo, it's the scene where he's like asking her about the ties. They deliver it to the kid's house, and he had somehow gotten hurt or had to have surgery. He got in some kind of accident. He was hurt. And so she thought that they had kind of given away the bike because they couldn't afford it anymore. They needed money was kind of her idea. But then I guess the sister stands up in the hot seat show and explains that the reason why they gave the bike away was because he wasn't going to be able to ride it anymore because of the accident.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically saying that you ruined everything because when we got back home, the bike was there and my brother's never going to be able to ride that bike again. And basically she was trying to do something nice, but
she didn't know all the facts.
And that's what that girl was saying. She's like, you don't even really know what's going on. You don't even know, about my brother and everything. So it kind of made.
I think in the book, that person, what's that girl's name?
I don't remember. I don't even know that
she plays, and not the villain, but she plays like an adversarial kind of role. And there's a bigger flap up at the end of the book than what happens at the end of this movie with that character.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the main reasons, and that's actually one of the main reasons that like Stargirl. Well, I don't want to say what happens at the end because there may be people listening and they don't want to hear it yet. So
yeah,
cliffhanger. Back to you, Phil.
Yeah. So yeah, like it basically is what ends the interview. Like I think she ends up running off at that point, maybe in the middle of the interview. But yeah, and there's a parallel I think between these two events. Like kind of the main thing is that she doesn't think about the repercussions of what she's doing. Like she just
trying to be nice.
Yeah, and she's definitely like this hippie wildflower, like just do what seems right in the moment and not really thinking through like the whole situation.
Right.
Very childlike, I guess, in that way.
Yeah.
And so, but she's obviously making people mad because of that.
Well, she made that girl mad, and they're already all mad at her because they feel like she turned on them at the football game whenever she went over to make sure Cam Newton was okay. Yeah. But overall, that's why. And now but I felt like at this point, they all start to normalize and come to a realization, okay, we're being really hard on this person, except for the girl with the brother with the bike. She's the only one that's still holding a grudge by over 3/4 of the way through the movie, or actually past that, honestly. So
yeah,
anyway.
I guess we should kind of point out at this point that there's not really like a villain in this movie. Like I think the girl with the bike is probably the closest thing we have to an actual conflict in the movie.
It's like an adversarial situation.
Yeah, that it is. I read a couple of reviews. I wanted to find one really super negative review and then one super positive one. And the super negative one was talking about how there's no stakes in the movie, like that there's not a main conflict that the characters have to overcome or anything like that. And I think I would mostly agree with that, except for this one scene. I think this scene is to give you some conflict of like, okay, it's not all roses. It's not like she skates through this movie. Like there are people that legitimately hate her for who she is. So I think they needed that to put even just a little bit of conflict into the movie. Then we have this crucial scene between Leo and Stargirl where he basically raises his voice to her and says, "Why can't you just be like everybody else?" And that's kind of the last straw for her. By the way, in the book, like I thought this was a little abrupt, like this comment from Leo. Like I can see that comment maybe coming from Kevin or maybe some of the other characters, but in the book, he says this because people start to shun him because of his association with Stargirl. And so that comes from a place of anger because of his own personal experiences, like his friends and people that he doesn't even know are beginning to shun him, like the way that they did when he first moved to Micah when he was 8. And so this scene makes more sense, I think, in the book. In the movie, I thought it was a little abrupt because it's like, well, hey, this is everything you like about Stargirl is that she's different.
Yeah.
And so
and then you're telling her to be like everybody else.
Yeah. That was when he first said that, I was just like, what? Like, where did this come from? You know, and I think it's supposed to be played off in the movie as like save yourself, but I don't think it's particularly strong. Like that's I don't think it's bad acting. I think it's bad writing in that scene.
Right, and that theme, they didn't really drive that home enough. And I'm sure in the book, and there are other books in this series, right?
There's
Yes.
one other. There's a sequel.
Okay, so they drive it home a little bit better there. But also, I feel like Disney wanted to play it as antiseptic, almost like not. We're not going to really ruffle feathers. We're not really going to push anything too cray, and so then this is what you kind of get. You get this like Full House ending with Bob Saget reading, or telling, Michelle that Comet is just sick. We may have to put Comet down. Who knows? So.
And then enter Susan.
Hi, I'm Susan.
Yeah, she makes this huge turn at this point.
She
like
goes
her hair-
regular. She shows she can be regular.
She's wearing normal clothes, quote unquote. Normal hair. I mean, I thought her hair was fine before, but she like straightens her hair. She's not, holding a ukulele around the high school anymore. Like she's just.
Yes.
She gets a phone.
She gets a
Yes.
cell phone. Okay.
An
I missed that
iPhone.
part.
And
Okay.
I'm bringing a second trip to our new segment, Ripoff Report.
Okay.
This is a ripped off report from, drumroll please, Hot Rod, the movie Hot Rod. Rod loses his identity as a person that jumps over things because he finds out his real dad didn't actually work for Evel Knievel. And so then he changes his persona toward the end of the movie, only to then get it back and jump over 16 buses. Back to you, Phil.
So,
right.
yeah.
I blew your mind.
People listening to the podcast are just like, did my phone just stop working?
Oh, did I cut out?
No, I mean, I heard you. I had no words after that.
You're crystal clear here, Phil. We're here. You hear? You're crystal clear here in Davenport, Iowa.
Let's see. I guess they kind of make up at this point. Leo asks her to go to the winter ball. She says yes. Then let's go.
Speech competition.
Yeah. So let's go to that. So let's go to Tucson. So she is going to give a speech about internet privacy or something like that.
Yes, good Lord. Her character went from free will, free thinking, peace, love, flowers, to let's talk about privacy on the internet, Wazakowski.
And so, then she gives this like impromptu. She starts at. I mean, we've seen this a million times in movies, but she starts giving that speech and then goes just like, "I can't do this."
Yeah,
and so
scratch. Record scratch, and here we go.
And I wrote down a few of these quotes because I thought it was a really good speech. She says she's talking about this instant culture that we all live in, how like everything's microwave and have it right now. And she talks about how, quote, real things take time. And she says it's easy to get confused when we're moving so fast and to think that we're doing the right thing when really we're not. She says part of what makes a flower beautiful is how long it took to grow. And it's just basically talking about like just slow down and like, smell the flowers type of thing as we're going through this life, to not have just jump from like, Instagram to Facebook to text message to, television channel to, YouTube or like we're just constantly moving all the time. Like to slow down. I thought that was like a really cool little message within a movie, like message within a message type thing. This really cool speech. She nails it. She gets the trophy, and they bring it back.
Trophy their school has ever gotten, by the way.
Yeah, it's literally their first trophy. It goes into a dusty trophy case, and it's like the bell rings in between classes. Like everyone would know that there's a trophy in there because it's literally empty every time they walk by it. The entire student body exits their classroom. Everyone walks by the trophy case, and nobody stops to look at it. Yeah. I thought that was a really powerful scene. Like, it shows you how much they have completely divorced their interactions, their mindset from Stargirl. Like, at that point, she could win literally the first trophy the town's ever had, and they just don't care. Like, they're just ready to pretend she doesn't exist anymore. So, she says to Leo, "I can't be Susan anymore. That's not who I am." She won the trophy as Stargirl, and that's who she's going to be from this point on. And she also says, "I'm not going to the dance with you because you can't go with a girl that doesn't exist." Then I had a question about this next scene. So, there's a flashback that reveals that Kevin was the one that picked Leo up after his dad's porcupine tie was cut. Like, we saw that scene, but we didn't see what happened right after it, which is Kevin like picks him up, and Kevin has this line. Maybe that's all she was doing. Stargirl was doing, helping somebody get back up. And I'm assuming, she's talking to. He's clearly talking about the quarterback, but I'm assuming he's also trying to relate it to Leo. So I don't know if you guys have the same reaction to that line, but like, I was thinking like that what he was trying to tell her was that Stargirl is helping him back up, like helping Leo back up. You guys get that impression?
I think that he needed a pick-me-up in his life because he had kind of not cratered out, but kind of, it was ho-hum, ho-drum, whatever. And this made it, this brought some people around. It was a added bonus. Stargirl comes into our lives, works her magic, and then leaves. We all have a Stargirl somewhere in our lives.
She kind of picked the whole town up in a way.
Yeah.
Like the whole, like she changed the whole.
A lot like another Disney property. There's a Lightning McQueen, and he comes to Radiator Springs and picks the whole town up.
We watched Cars, the movie that you're referring to.
Also available on Disney Plus reviews.
Yeah, we watched that. We watched that last night. That movie's still really good, by the way.
Coach that picks up a bunch of rejects when he decides to get over, and the mighty
there's like 30 of the Disney movies that
a camp with kids that are maybe a little on the bigger side.
Heavyweight.
And Ben Stiller is there to yell at them. Also available on Disney Plus.
Okay.
Anyway, or possibly a baseball team that maybe needs a little bit of spiritual intervention. Possibly, maybe some angels show up, not on the infield, but mainly in the outfield. Also available on Disney Plus.
Or a 10-year-old kid who gets a surgically bionic arm and helps a team that hadn't won for years to become a baseball team.
I love the rookie.
Or a bald professor that is confined to a hover wheelchair that is in charge of an entire school of misfits that then turn and change the world, with Cyclops as their field leader and an angry, surly Wolverine as their enforcer. That's right, X-Men. Available on Disney Plus, coming soon.
Speaking of Cars, Stargirl ships into the Cars album.
And a record player.
Yeah, and a record player to play it.
Yeah.
I didn't have one.
Can someone name the lead singer and the writer of this song? This is the lead singer of Cars and the writer of this song.
Don't know.
His name is Rick Ocasek.
What would we do without you, Jack?
R-I-C, Rick. Continue, Phil. Go ahead.
And there's a note in there that says that there's going to be a surprise for him at the dance if he still ends up going to it. I felt stupid for not calling like what the surprise was going to be. I don't know if you guys predicted it or not, whatever, but obviously it has something to do with this song, but we'll find out later what that is. Then there's this really brief scene. One of the few scenes in the movie between Leo and his mom exists right here, and she talks to him about his dad, and I thought it was actually really good. She says, "Your dad was the only one who was always completely himself," is what she says. And then she delivers this line, which I think is really the theme for the whole movie. She says, "Figuring out who we are is the only thing other people can't do for us." And really, obviously, she's talking about Stargirl, but she's also talking about her husband, her late husband. and how she's really encouraging Leo to kind of be himself as well. Then the big dance scene. Every high school Disney movie has to have a dance in it, and they they meet. Stargirl shows up for like one song, and she says, "Are you ready for your surprise?" And then it's an actual what's the Back to the Future Under the Sea dance or whatever. Like they have a live band on stage.
Yeah, which was awesome, by the way.
Yeah, I was like, man, that would have been pretty cool to get a dance like that. But
now we had that when I was in high school. We had that at prom.
Oh, really?
And at our homecoming dance. And guess whose band played at it, guys? Jack's band played at the dances.
You played the whole dance?
We played like an hour set. Kids loved it.
Cool.
One time.
Did you play Just What I Needed?
No, but we played. What did we play? We may have played that one. We did play a Cars song. Anyway, but one time we were there and we were getting ready to play, and this kid with an orange vest showed up. Really weird. Seemed like he was from the future, and he grabbed a guitar and played a crazy song that literally came out like 8 to 9 years later after that. And he was gone in a second. He said, we maybe you guys don't get it, but your kids are going to love this. It's really weird. That song, Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba.
I get knocked down, but I get up again.
So anyway, but we really...
That person
really
was
did
me.
play.
I'm getting ready to get in my time machine and actually go back
What? We really did the time loop, but we really did play dances. And it was awesome. It was cool having a band at dances. So.
Yeah. The lead singer of the band says, "We have a guest singer for this next song. It's Leo Borlock." And obviously Leo didn't see this coming at all. He has to go up on stage, and it's like the world's longest intro to a song. they play like the opening riff for like 14 times before he comes in. He finally ends up conceding. He sings, everyone dances. There's this big like kind of montage, not quite montage scene. It's all in real time, but like they all during the song they all go outside. It starts snowing out there. It's the winter formal, so I guess it makes sense. Did Stargirl make it snow? Like she made it rain early in the movie?
Because it is Arizona. It doesn't really snow.
It's true. There's an awkward moment between Stargirl and that girl, the one that confronted her about the bike. Stargirl apologized. What's that?
Hillary is her name.
Hillary, okay. Stargirl apologizes to her and then runs off. She's done with the dance at that point. And then I think this is kind of a weird ending for the movie. I kind of dig it. Like I kind of like it, but I did not see this coming at all. Literally the next scene that happens in the movie is she has moved. Like they have like a for sale sign in their front yard right after the dance.
What was funny is Grant literally predicted that this was going to happen when we were watching.
Oh, really? I didn't see it coming at all. Grant, tell us why. I mean, I'm assuming you liked the ending since you predicted that it was going to happen this way. Why did you see this coming, and why did you?
Just basically
because
kind of like in all stories where, or not all stories, but in some movies where they feel like they have left this place in better shape than when they got there, and their time to move on.
Huh.
And so Stargirl figured her job was done here, and it was time for her to move on somewhere else and work her magic somewhere else.
Yeah, in the book, she moves to Philadelphia, or a small town outside of Philadelphia. I think it's probably also a fake town, but
so she meet up with the Fresh Prince.
Yeah,
is it West Philadelphia?
And then there's a bunch of narration from Leo at this point. He's saying she inspired people to be themselves no matter what the outcome or what people would think. And then he says, was it real? Like, was she really real? And there's like all these, I love this part because this is so high school, but like all these urban legends start popping up about her, like that she could fly or that she had like magical powers and things like that. At one point he's talking with Archie, and Archie says, he's talking about dinosaurs, and he's like, a lot of people have trouble believing that dinosaurs are real because they seem like these mythical, magical creatures, these huge things. How could these things possibly have walked the earth? But we know that they're real because they're bones, they're fossils that we found. And that Stargirl is kind of like that too. Like we have the evidence that she was here amongst us, even though it doesn't feel real to anybody. And then he delivers this line. He says, "You think things have to be real or magic, but the best things are both," which I thought was a good line.
And then he gets to see her office.
Yes. Which he expected her bedroom to be like this earlier in the movie, and it's just like a normal everyday high school girl's bedroom. But yeah, her office, I guess, is at the camp, which is a little weird, but there's glitter, ribbons, magic tricks, a whole bunch of information about her, and he just kind of relishes in that.
Newspaper articles and like pictures of people that she's helped and like their stories and stuff.
Yeah. It turns out she's been doing this her entire life, and it's revealed that she did send him all those ties. Like she was the one that was sending him a tie every year. And then Leo says, "Who would take the time for someone they didn't know?" And he's kind of thinking about her.
A stalker would.
What's that?
A stalker would.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone who puts together what looks like a forensic crime like research situation. She's got pictures of random people. She's got all this information tacked to this wall. Like, yeah. I've seen a lot of crime shows that are a lot like this.
Yeah.
Or she's like a murderer, because murderers do that kind of thing too, where they like focus in on like one person and they're like, it's crazy. Anyway.
On this episode of The Blacklist.
Stargirl.
Just missing some red yarn connecting pins. So yeah, he's basically, was she a ghost? Was she an alien? Was she even real? Was she a girl just like anyone else, or was there something unique about her? So, super weird ending. I thought that I liked it. I thought it was like, you expect that this movie is going to end up with them together, like that the two of them versus the world type of thing, and it just doesn't end up that way at all. I'm like, it's not interested in telling that kind of story.
Or the ending to Footloose, where they all end up at the high school dancing to "Everybody Cut, Everybody Cut, Everybody Cut, Everybody." Glitter's falling from the ceiling. They're dancing around.
Go ahead and pop that mic out again, Jackson.
Kevin Bacon is there. They're all dancing around. Glitter's falling from the ceiling. And then they end on a freeze frame on Stargirl's face.
Yeah.
Or Leo's awkward look on his face, like he just ate some peanut butter.
So that's kind of the whole movie. What do you guys think about how it was shot? Like the cinematography,
I thought it was well done. I think that the fact that you're looking at, like you said, maybe a lower budget type situation. That's why they didn't put it in theaters, and they could just put it straight to Disney Plus. I don't
think this movie would have done very well in theaters, to be honest. I think it would have had an audience, but
yeah, I mean, it wouldn't
have this time.
Probably not now, especially since there aren't movie theaters.
Well, no, but let's in regular times someday if we ever get back to that, when we have regular movies in theaters. Weird, but I think it would be a January release in the theaters. It'd be a January release, or like a weird, like, I don't know, October sometimes is a bad month for movies too, but But I know it's pretty good. I mean, it's fine. I think I've got a theory. There's a theory behind this movie that I wanted to share with you guys.
Yeah.
I think this is this may be part of the M. Night Shyamalan universe. And is there a chance that he or she was actually dead this whole time? Is Stargirl actually a ghost? A lot of people online are talking about this now. And they're basically saying, I mean, no one ever directly talks to her other than this kid. I'm waiting for a response. Okay, just checking. Just wanted to see if anyone's paying attention.
Yeah, that's patently false. Yeah.
Okay, how about this? Is Leo actually also Stargirl, kind of like a Tyler Durden situation from Fight Club, where he's two people in this movie. Thoughts?
No.
You're saying that Leo is Stargirl.
And Stargirl is Leo.
I think that's accurate.
I'm not saying anything like a dress-up situation. I'm just saying, is there maybe a situation where they are the same?
No.
Think about it.
Because does anybody ever see them both together?
I guess they're talking about her. I guess they are talking about her later in the movie about how she, was she real? Was she not real? And the other kids are talking about her in that way too. So maybe that's not the case. Okay. Third theory. Was this a dream in Leo's mind?
Was
All
it
right.
Inception?
Was Inception? Did the top fall over at the end? All right. Anyway, there you go, guys. That's my thoughts. That's all I got for you.
All right.
Back to you
Thank
in the
you.
studio, Phil.
Grant, Caitlin, any theories? Any thoughts on this movie?
Well, going off like the magic part.
Yeah.
I think there is some magic in there, but I also think she just brought like a new perspective to the town, and she gave them hope and good times where a lot of the town had never experienced that. And yeah, kind of my.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, it's like I have trouble believing that there's no magic involved. Like the story seems a little too far fetched. Like to think that, like literally just her presence at the football games is what's making them win. When they're out in that canyon or whatever, and it just starts raining because she wants it to rain, or it starts snowing because she wants it to snow. Like I don't know. I think I wouldn't have trouble at all if someone believed that like there was like legit real magic happening in the movie. Because otherwise, like there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't make sense in the movie without that. I don't know. I think it leaves it open-ended where you can go either way with it, but I kind of lean more on the side of like, yeah, her presence was doing something supernatural. I don't know. It's interesting, but
And now we're all going to read the sequel together.
No, we're not.
We could. We have time.
I think what's fascinating about her character in this movie, I think the thing that I had the most fun with was watching mostly Leo, but sometimes the other characters too, like pure fascination, like awe of her. Like everyone, like she walks through the room and every head turns, like, and not because she's like particularly like gorgeous or like anything natural. There's something supernaturally different about her, and everyone knows it. Like there's something unique about this girl, and like I don't know. I love watching their faces as she speaks to them or sings. Like they are like literally the world stops and everyone is watching her whenever she's doing something on screen. So I found that to be some of the most fun parts of the movie. So.
It's cool.
Yeah, this movie was way better than I thought it had any right to be. I was not expecting to get this much out of a movie, which I literally thought was just going to be, oh, she's a quirky girl, he's a kind of outcast guy,
yeah,
and they're going to fall in love, and it's going to be the tale of their romance journey, and then it's going to end with them kissing at the dance. Like that's literally what I thought I was going to get by watching this movie, and I got way more than that. So I was impressed. So
You were
cool.
impressed or depressed?
I wasn't depressed at all.
No, not anymore. Not since we met Stargirl. We can't be depressed.
Yeah, our lives are all better because of it.
We all need to
They
be
are.
stars.
Oh, and we left out their trophy case fills up to the brim. The high school, the entire high school has changed because of her.
All of them, yes. Stargirl worked her magic. Now on to the next school in Hoboken, Hoboken, Pennsylvania.
The Mud Pigs.
The Mud Pigs have never won. They've never won a rugby game all year.
Well, we've gone pretty long on this episode, but I'm glad we had a really good conversation about the movie. I think it's important to talk about these new exclusive things, and we probably need to cover some of the other stuff too at some point. But what else are you guys watching on Disney Plus this week?
Well, we watched Frozen 2 this week. We've had a lot of time, so we watched Frozen 2 again.
Snow Dogs.
We watched Snow Dogs.
Snow Dogs. It's really good.
Okay.
And we watched Old Dogs as well, which was hilarious.
Okay. I don't think I've seen either of those.
And then we've watched a couple episodes of Smart Guy and Lizzie McGuire here and there.
Okay.
I really want to watch the Hannah Montana movie personally, but
Grant's not letting you?
no.
Because she doesn't want to watch Heavyweights again. She doesn't want to watch Blank Check again. Jungle to Jungle. Kazam.
Kazam is on there?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Kazam is on Disney Plus?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
You're going to go watch it now.
I'm going to go watch it and probably do an episode of the Horror Movie Podcast on it. Why not? We're stuck here.
Because it's Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille. Very cool.
We're watching.
For me, it's Jack, Jack, same question. What have you been watching?
Last night Miller wanted to watch Big Hero 6, so he watched that.
Oh,
and then, which I've seen that thing 4,000 times. That's kind of his little kid movie when he was younger, and he was just like, let's watch it again. Oh my gosh. So I've seen it 1,000 times. So that, obviously, still watching X-Men stuff for the animated series. And obviously Star Wars is always on there. It's awesome.
Yeah, for me, it's been Star Wars all the time. I've had a lot more hours this week than I have since we started this podcast to actually watch Disney Plus. So I've been tearing through. I am already halfway through season 5, if you can believe it. I think I ripped through an entire season's worth of episodes this week. I just watched. I guess I'm only five episodes into season 5, but the first 5 episodes of season 5 are a Saw Gerrera story, a series of episodes in season 5, which I don't think I even knew that he was in the series. That shows you how little I knew about Clone Wars before I started watching it. But Saw Gerrera, obviously from Rogue One, I love his character in Rogue One. I did not even know he was in Clone Wars, and awesome. I got 5 whole episodes of Saw Gerrera in it. It basically shows Saw as a young cat. I mean, he's super young in this. Basically doing his part to free Onderon, the movie, the planet that he's from, and it's basically a civil war story between. And I think, Jack, the most interesting part of it is that the Republic is present, they're watching the ongoings of that planet, but they're not getting involved. It's kind of Prime Directive style. They're basically allowing this to play out and watching to see how it plays out. And they're kind of at one point they kind of break a rule and send some weapons their way, but other than that, they tell Ahsoka not to get involved with any of the fighting. And the reason for that is because the king, the recognized king on the planet, is pro-separatist, and the Republic has to honor whatever their delegates are sending them. So they can't just help overthrow a government, acting as a Republic. And so, but they basically are until the Civil War plays out and they actually overtake, and eventually, of course, they do. By the 5th episodes, they take over the government and install themselves and say, we're done with the separatists and we're pro-Republic. At that point, all the clones come in and descend on that planet, but they basically can't do anything until the Civil War is over. And so Ahsoka is influencing them from the background, but she can't actually get directly involved in the action. In the conflict.
Yeah, so it's good stuff.
Yeah, it was really cool. And so yeah, if you haven't watched those episodes, but you're a huge fan of Rogue One, definitely check out Clone Wars season 5, episodes 1 through 5, because Saw Gerrera is in that. So, yeah. Speaking of Clone Wars, we'll be back to talk about Clone Wars next week. Next week's episode will be episodes 5 and 6 of season 7 of Clone Wars. Finally getting into some Ahsoka. We don't have time on today's episode. I already put it in my notes for next week, Jack. But they announced. Did you see this? The last couple of days, they announced that Ahsoka is live action cast in season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Is that Rosario Dawson?
Yeah, I'm super excited about that.
She's in the Luke Cage stuff. She's night nurse in all of the Marvel Netflix stuff. So
okay, yeah.
She's also a huge Bernie Sanders supporter.
Sweet.
Feel the ban.
Fine.
Yeah,
anyway, not that that's here or
exciting.
there, but there you go. So not really gonna talk politics on here, but there you go.
So yeah, next week we'll have a lot to talk about Ahsoka, watching these new episodes, and then also chat about what it means for her to be in live action for the first time since Star Wars began. So
It's gonna be great.
Lots of Ahsoka things to look forward to this year.
It's great.
Well, that's it for this episode. Let us know what you want to hear about on this podcast. Let us know what you want us to talk about in 2 weeks, because we're talking about Clone Wars next week. We don't necessarily have anything planned out for 2 weeks from now. And then let us know what you've been watching on Disney Plus. We'd love to include you in the show. Just email disneyplusreviews@hotmail.com. We've got a few ideas that we might throw out just amongst ourselves, but let us know if you have an idea for something that you want to hear a review about. Thank you, Grant. Thank you, Caitlin, for joining us today on this episode. It was really fun having you guys on. I'm glad it wasn't just
Phil.
I'm glad it wasn't just us dudes, me and Jack, talking about romantic high school drama. But yeah, what a great movie that turned out to be. So I'm glad that you guys were on the show. Thank you, Jack, for doing what you do all the time, which is basically throwing out information and then our audience not knowing if it's real or not.
Well, I'm living up to them, guys. Our reality is what we create sometimes. And I want you to fact check things. So I'm challenging you. Go to Google. Go to trusted sites like Snopes, Babylon Bee. Go to these trusted places, Reddit. Go to the comment section of a Yahoo article. Guys, the truth is in there somewhere, deep buried in there.
I'm leaving.
Oh.
All right, we've lost Caitlin.
Bye, Kate.
That must mean it's time to wrap this episode.
She's tired.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week for some Clone Wars. See you then.
Bye-bye.